angles here and there of Rando and just cruise on through the seed, nice and smooth. I think we're going to get started pretty soon here, so we will see what we're going to get. Yep, there's the starting up. Uncle's going to tell us what the... Alright, that's French, I think?
Is that the translation error, I think? Well, we got bombs in the first chest, so that is very nice. We are not going to have to worry about that. It'll be particularly funny if we end up finding bombs from the uncle as well.
Yeah. That's always nice, like they won't have to farm bombs. If they get some kind of Burna escape or something like that, then it's going to be a lot easier for them to deal with not having to like kill enemies, because it's just so painful when you get kind of these bad escape weapons. But we're going to see here Dragonmaster grabbing the hammer, which is a great weapon for the escape. They'll be happy about that.
Yeah, he remembers to switch items immediately so that he doesn't accidentally drop a bomb when trying to whack these darts, and Freddeh does the same, so that's a really underrated little thing that they have to remember to do to make sure that they don't waste a bomb. And now we're going to collect just a little bit of magic. Dragonmaster picks up both, Freddeh just one, and he's not even going to bother with the guards. He says, I'm fine with 3 bombs, that's plenty.
Yeah, I think Dragonmaster may have just been killing them because they were more directly in his path. And both runners having magic, it's a good idea to pick that up, especially when you have a hammer early, because all it takes is you get powder, and then you really just want to do magic bat while you're in Kakariko. But if you don't pick up magic here, then it's not too fun to have to come back to that later, potentially. Nice dodges going through this hallway from Dragonmaster. Freddie's just a little bit behind, but I think that's because he did a map check. We do know that we've got crystals on all 3 Light World dungeons, so that might be thinking that we might get a fast seed here. Dark World pendants are always preferable to the Light World having the dungeons you don't have to do and the long ones being required.
Yeah, of course, you don't know if you're going to get like a skull pendant, which is not that long of a dungeon, or for example, a Mire pendant, which keeps you start worrying like, oh, is this yet another one of those? Mire pendant has the required item seeds, but that's a ways off, so we'll dread that outcome as it's coming, but be a little bit patient. Dragonmaster and Freddeh both making good use of their hammer here to dispatch exactly the guards they need to, and they're not really getting too distracted by the other ones. And that is a 300, very nice to have rupees early on, so money shouldn't be too much of an early problem.
Yeah, and in this case, we might see, I'm not sure what the runners are going to do. We'll have to see once they're done escape, but we might see a lumberjack cave skip here, since they don't really need anything from the tree pull anymore. They have bombs, they have rupees, they're pretty happy. But that's still a ways off. Dragonmaster is going with 1 pot here on the guard, and we'll finish him off with the hammer here. Freddeh looks like he's going in for 2 hammer hits, so that's just a little bit faster. They both get hit just because, yeah, he does that. That's fine. And we'll pick up Zelda. Grab the blue boomerang. That's pretty nice to have early on, since they'll be able to check the stun prize. It's a bit better at getting stuff out of their way than the hammer with its rather lacking hitbox.
Yeah, we'll see if when or if they opt to do that, as you will have to do a bunch of extra menuing to switch to that boomerang, hit something with it, and then switch back to the hammer to be able to take it out. If they get a sword, it's a little bit easier and nicer to check along the way to Mini Moldorm Cave, for example. But for now, we're just heading back through the escape. Freddeh's still just right behind Dragonmaster. Again, the difference just being that map check. And Dragonmaster is going to be our first entrant into the back of the sewers, and we'll see what we're going to find back there. But so far, we have gotten the key, so we'll be expecting to see a map and four other items back there.
Yeah, that's right. Now, if we don't see that map, we'll be able to skip the Sanctuary chest, which is pretty nice. Freddeh took a stop there to grab a heart and kill the guard. Not a bad idea at all. When you don't have a sword to knock their ropes out of your way in the dark sewer, they can do a fair chunk of damage to you as you try to walk through them, so just making sure that he's at full health coming in is a pretty good plan. You'll probably see Dragonmaster pick up 1 heart in the dark sewer here to get up to full before that room.
Gets promptly kind of poked by a rat here, but he does pick that heart up, get his little refill, and neither runner opting to make use of the pumping technique. If you've watched a fair number of these, you might have heard somebody reference it, but basically it is a technique where while you're moving in certain directions, up or left, you can kind of tap the control pad and for reasons, it causes you to possibly move a little bit faster in that direction. I'm not going to fully explain the details. I would recommend you go look up pumping via, I don't know if Helpus or King is still around in the channels, but I'm sure someone in chat will explain it. It's not that complicated of a technique. It also saves like the tiniest amount of time.
Yeah, it's frames here and there, basically.
It's a little bit low health for Freddeh here. He needs to be a little bit careful. He did get an extra bomb along the way, but he's rocking one heart, and that's a little bit scary right now.
Yeah, it can be pretty spooky, but since the rats only do a quarter heart of damage, it's still doing okay. We've got a red potion showing up in the back of the escape as well as 300 rupees there, so they're set on money.
Yeah, that red potion is going to be really nice going forward, as they won't need to worry about making any potion trips in the near future just yet, even if they end up in a scary position. Of course, so far they're still on 3 hearts, and they have yet to get any mail upgrades. Not that that's super rare or anything, but, you know, you always kind of hope, like, hey, maybe, you know, sometime early I can get some safety.
Safety is always nice. Now, Dragonmaster, gonna grab this. Just a blue rupee there. So we'll be moving on, and we'll see. Does Dragonmaster go up and check the lumberjack, do a tree pull, or just head directly to Lost Woods? Skip the critter, just got 1 tree pull rather than potentially 2. Looks like it's going to be Lost Woods because not going up on that earlier screen.
Yeah, you see him making this route around here, and Freddeh is also going to skip it. They're both going to go ahead and just go straight to Lost Woods, pick up those 2 items, the mushroom spot and the thieves hideout, and we'll also get at least 1 tree pull along the way. They can actually make time to do 2, and getting red rupees, which is actually kind of nice. It's still good to have, you know, around 700 to 800 rupees, possibly, you know, make yourself a little bit safe for things like pod and, you know, games and stuff. And they also pick up a lamp.
Yeah, early lamp is pretty good. Neither runner's going to have to go through any dark rooms here. Freddeh doing kind of the reverse of how Dragonmaster went through this. Dragonmaster walked around that item, probably didn't want to pick up a bomb upgrade or an arrow upgrade, but says, a piece of heart, I'm at 3 health, it's early game, what the heck, let's grab it.
Yeah, I think pieces of heart are very underrated. You never know when, if you get that piece of heart at the right time, it's going to give you a refill in the middle of a dungeon where you're getting bodied. So you might as well just pick up a couple and kind of set yourself up a little bit.
Now we do have a bit of a different bomb situation coming into Kakariko here. Dragonmaster only at 2, Freddeh at 3, so Freddeh will be able to do all of the bomb spots in Kakariko. Dragonmaster might have to skip the chicken house and then buy bombs and come back to it, but probably pretty good chance that some more bombs will show up in one of these 10 chests that's coming up in the well and blind side here.
Yeah, we start with this one. It's a single rupee. That's not quite it. The arrow upgrade, another 100 rupees, and a Quake medallion. That's very nice.
Alright. So 1 medallion down. We won't know for quite a while if that is ever going to get used for anything, but hey, there's the bomb, so Dragonmaster will not have to do any doubling back here in CAC.
Perfect, and Freddeh, for his part, will also not need to. He'll head to the well. Freddeh will follow suit, not too far behind. This is a little bit more of a difference than just the map check, but Freddeh did, you know, pick up that extra bomb from some kills somewhere, so he probably just kind of took a little bit of a stop to pick that, to make those extra kills and pick that up.
Yep. Now in the well, we've got the magic cape showing up, which is maybe a little bit of a worrying item for our runners here, because it hints towards potentially Aga being your path to the dark world, but we've still got lots to check in the light world before that comes to pass. Not much else in here, just some money, some hearts, stuff like that. So Dragonmaster moving on to the ball vendor, Freddeh close behind now.
Yeah, and particularly with that cape, since they also have the lamp already, that seems, oh man, and the boots showing up from the bottle vendor. So that's really nice because they can move fast, but also strongly hints that maybe there was something back on that lumberjack ledge that they're actually intended to go get in the very near future. But we'll see. Could just be a total coincidence. They might also just immediately get both the glove and the pearl, and there you go.
Yeah, that's true. And since both runners skipped that check with the lumberjack cave, I wouldn't be surprised to see on one of the upcoming save and quits from them to just go from Sanctuary to Bonkrocks to the lumberjack cave, take a look at it. Not sure if they'll do that before going south or not. It kind of is something that they can do at any time. So it's not like they're going to get tripped up at all by doing that skip. Sick Kid, gives a bottle back for you showing him a bottle, and now they've got a fairy, so they'll have to keep that in mind if they want a death warp, I suppose.
Yeah, with this low health too, you got to assume that they'll be thinking about death warps in a couple situations, not having that mirror either. We also saw Dragonmaster actually went ahead over to the shop and picked up bombs anyway. He'd gotten a bomb upgrade along the way. He was down to 2. He said, well, let's just make sure that I'm 100% set. Freddeh with that third bomb just said, that's enough. And there's a sword on the bookshelf, so the boot's already paying off pretty much immediately. It's a pretty loaded Kakariko, actually.
Yeah, that was actually pretty nice all in all. The cape, Quake medallion, boots, definitely some good stuff. That sword will be really nice for Freddeh too, because he definitely didn't have the greatest weapons to fight Mini Molder Cave with. But we got a little bit of a divergence here. Dragonmaster kind of saved some time. If the race game was required, it's a lot faster to just go in rather than look for it. But Freddie's going to save some time because it was just a piece of heart. Dragonmaster's going to be able to get that, but Freddeh going for some spin speed on the Sanctuary Stairs most thing, doesn't get it, and is going to be getting that Bonk Rock Lumberjack check in right now.
Yeah, no surprise here as Dragonmaster's going to follow the exact same path. You know, you get that sword, that completes your Aghanim readiness kit. And Freddeh says immediately like, oh, okay. So it is absolutely telling me, Aga, I better just find out, like, what's on that Lumberjack ledge? Am I getting something required if I go do that, you know, like 5-minute investment to finish Aghanim?
Yeah. This is the kind of time where you're kind of expecting to see the Power Glove or something show up. It's like, okay, yeah, I get it, Seed, I get it, but you don't really want to go up Aga Tower with 4 hearts. I'm sure we'll see the south side first.
That's a pearl.
Alright, we get it, Seed. We get it, okay? We get it.
So Freddeh is saving Queen to Link's house. I'm not gonna expect him to immediately go to Aga. Yeah, he's gonna go to South Shore first. Now he's opened up a very slight lead over Dragonmaster instead of the other way around, thanks to just that, you know, that brief detour to the bomb shop, and that's really it. That's the entire difference so far.
Yeah. Oh, looks like Dragonmaster is just gonna go straight for Aga. So Freddie's looking for maybe some weapon upgrades or something to help with Aga Tower. And Dragonmaster thinks twice. Oh man, I have 4 hearts and a fighter's sword. Let's check some more chests first.
That was about to be the biggest of plays. I can hardly imagine a bigger play. But Dragonmaster says, I'm not quite ready for a play that big, so he will make sure to check a couple extra locations. You never know, you could get something like the Fire Rod from the dam.
I've never seen the Fire Rod be underwater from the dam personally. So, wait, that's just what happened. Now we can one-shot half the guards in there. So they still have no magic because they haven't been able to finish any dungeons, so there is that. But Mini Molder Cave may not disappoint. Freddie's coming into it now. We'll be able to go for the sword here. Tossing bombs can be faster, but at only 2 bombs, yeah, you're not going to do that. Definitely going to go around and slash them.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Dragonmaster try to make use of his bombs, though. He's got 12 of them.
Yeah, we can see some bomb tosses. So Freddeh gets a bomb upgrade, piece of heart, full heart. Well, I mean, that's something good. Oh, that was the Sankar too. There's the Kina Samaria and Blue Mail, so definitely a good call to do in Oldham before going up Aga Tower. It's far less scary now with Blue Mail and 5 hearts.
Yeah, that's a very valuable kit to be able to go to Aga Tower with. 5 hearts, Blue Mail, you'll feel really confident. You got that red potion. You've got, you know, the cane for maybe pushing guards off of, you know, like those narrow ledges. You've got the boomerang to stun them. You've got the fire rod to just immediately burn them to death. And maybe if you want, you can light up the torches in the dark maze so that you can see a little easier. And Freddeh, of course, is going to get Ice Rod Cave out of the way as well since he's got the boots. It's a nice quick check.
Yeah, it doesn't get better to come here unless you do find the flute later, but all it takes is a flute and Ice Rod Cave one time to say, no, I'm never skipping this again. But this time it's just bombs. Wouldn't be surprised to see Dragonmaster just head directly over there as well. It's a very sensible play right now. Freddeh returning to Link's house once again and picking up a heart. I think it is probably Aga time now.
Nope, just kidding.
I lied.
Well, we're going to check out Sahasala. Again, you know, this is one of those, like, it's a pretty reasonable play, but, you know, when are we going to get our Aga, dang it?
I think the stun prize is a full magic drop. That's actually really good because they'll be able to use that to fire rod down guards rather than having to do however many fighter's sword hits to take them down in Aga Tower.
Yeah, and Freddeh having checked that, he'll know already. Dragonmaster does need to give that a check, but I would not at all be surprised to see him do it right now. And he is, again, going directly to Aghanim as Freddeh picks up what appeared to be Bombos in the back of Sahasrahla.
Yeah, that's right. In the absence of the fire rod, that would probably be a pretty good way to kill your way through a few of these rooms. Normally, casting medallions is quite slow, but the fighter's sword is just absolutely terrible against these enemies. They have the hammer, I suppose, so there's decent weaponry options, and both of our runners will be climbing Aga Tower now. And we're gonna just be sitting here for a while watching them do this, because there's nothing randomized about this tower. They just have to go up and, well, I mean, guards have some RNG to them, but that's not new interesting items for us to find.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see some prize packs maybe. We'll see what their strats are. That's going to be the really interesting thing here. There could be a very significant time difference based on how they approach this. And the nice thing for Freddeh is he did check that stun prize and not only got the knowledge, but also, of course, got the magic, so he can fire on everything. So he's already right behind Dragonmaster, despite having taken that entire detour over to Eastern Palace. Look at that double shot from the fire rod for Freddeh. That was beautiful. Probably luck, but still.
Yeah, that was nice stuff, for sure. Taking out these guards quite quickly. So yeah, Freddeh just barely behind. Has that Sahasrahla check done already as well. And this is going to be kind of a funny Aga Tower, because they're going to get to the pyramid, probably look at the item, and then immediately have to go get the pearl, and then take the portal again, most likely, since that's also their Dark World access.
Yeah, even after getting that pearl, they don't have that, you know, combo of the hammer and the power glove to be able to open any of the other Dark World portals, nor do they have the Titansmen, of course. So yeah, they're going to need to basically just head back in and probably just go straight to pod. That seems like a pretty good likelihood.
Yeah, they do have the hammer, so there's at least a little bit open to them in South Dark World, but pod has lots of items in it, and as long as it's not bow locked, they can get them. They do have a red potion in both of them, so it's possible. Oh yeah, Freddie's gonna use that stun prize again, Bill Magic once again, and have fire rod shots for this top floor. As Dragonmaster doing good work with the hammer, but Freddie's gonna be able to just melt these guys.
Yeah, he's getting a little bit upset with that menu, having it kind of going in pretty awkward directions, but he's able to figure out where the fire rod is relative to the boomerang. With not having, you know, certain items in your menu ends up making some of these really awkward, and now he's starting to get used to it. As Dragonmaster getting a little bit messed up in this room here. He needs to be careful. The hammer's reach is a little bit awkward to make use of here. It's only on 2 hearts, but he now gets a couple refills, so he should be good to go for the rest.
Freddeh coming into one of the last rooms before the Aga fight. So he's going to stun that first guard. Try to stun the second guard, gets knocked away a bit, but doesn't fall, so he'll be up and into the Aga fight. Dragonmaster busting out the fire rod just to get to these last couple guards and be into this fight as well.
The rare abandoned red rupee from that guard there is Dragonmaster's already got 786 to his name, so he says he climbs the stairs. Why did he do that?
Just wanted to get up close, maybe see if you could rescue Zelda a little bit early, but Aga's pretty fast. He always manages to zap her away. So I'll have to just go back down and chase him around. So we'll see how the luck is for the runners here. Now, of course, they're going to get the same luck, however many blue balls Aga decides to fire. Both runners get the same thing. It looks like there haven't been any so far from Freddeh. I think that's 3 hits in so far.
That's correct, yeah. And there's one minor thing that you can do to save a tiny bit of time on Aghanim, and that is when you have an opportunity, you can reflect the shot from a direction where he'll get knocked towards the middle of the room to lessen his average travel distance, but that's about it. That's the only thing you can really do. Otherwise, just reflect the shots, get 1 blue ball here, hopefully no more. Freddie's having a really good fight here, and so is Dragonmaster. There it is, only 1.
Okay, so that's pretty good. Pretty fast Aga for these guys. Freddeh now getting into the Dark World. Will not get a magic or heart refill because he's Mario for some reason. And that's going to be a little annoying for Dragonmaster, maybe.
Oh my gosh.
Hook shot.
Man, if only they could get up to Death Mountain, they'd have the entire Death Mountain access, but nope.
Yeah, the nasty thing about this, though, is that it means, yeah, you have the Moon Pearl, now you can do Pod, but you can also do the long walk from Pyramid all the way over to Village of Outcasts through the Dark World, and that might be what that hookshot means they're going to need to do.
Oh, that's a thing. But Freddie's heading north. He's going to pick up his Moon Pearl. Dragonmaster's right behind, so basically even right now. But the main difference is Dragonmaster has not headed over to Sahasrara yet, so he's not claimed his Freddie. Okay, there you go. He's not claimed his Bombos medallion. I believe that was the only important item back there.
Yeah, probably won't be too big of a deal. It's very likely that Dragonmaster will check that for needing that medallion, but it does mean that that's going to take some time. So definitely good position for Freddie here right now. Immediate save and quit after grabbing the Pearl, and we'll be heading to the Dark World, because I don't think there's really anything that they can still do in the Light World aside from, I guess, Agina's Cave or Fake Flippers, but that's not appealing. We're going to check out what the Dark World has in store.
Yeah, given that the logic incorporated this lumberjack ledge Moon Pearl, you're pretty much just going to say, okay, I'm going to follow the logic because of how tortured it is. Here's the map check. Those are 3 very nice pendants to have. Mire is the green pendant. Thieves Town is a pendant, as well as Turtle Rock. So no medallions theoretically required for Go Mode in this seed. Fire Rod's required. We have it. We need Mitt. We need Bow. And we need Mirrors and Flippers. Is that it?
Yeah, it's pretty good so far. Freddie's gonna skip out on Pod and go directly over to Village of Outcasts. He can't check Catfish along here because there's no glove to lift the rock. There's Dragonmaster getting that map check in as well, so...
Yeah, in fact, Dragonmaster's following him along the exact same path to the north. He was already on red, and he's gonna use that hookshot and go the same direction. So this is pretty interesting. Neither of them wants to dip into Pod without that bow. I mean, that's a very reasonable and justifiable decision. Probably the right one. I mean, what do I know? That's half magic, and Freddie's about to walk away. He's like, wait, go back.
Yeah, he decides...
Oh, he doesn't have a glove.
I forgot about that too. I was like, wait, he just decided he didn't want it all of a sudden, but no, he can't even get in there.
Oh my goodness, that's pretty funny. OSS.
Oh.
Oh gosh, Dragonmaster is gonna do the same thing. He's gonna do the same thing.
Man, this would have got. This is exactly what I would have done here as well.
Me too. Oh man, that's one of those moments. It's very, very uncommon to be blocked on glove entering a bumper cave. It's just so rare. So Dragonmaster hitting the exact same thing Freddie just hit, but that's all right. They'll head to Village of Outcasts and check this area now.
Oh man, that's good. So yeah, we'll clear out this area. Well, we'll see what they opt to do with Thieves Town. It being a pendant, completing the dungeon is not necessarily required to finish this seed. And in cases I've seen people just not even go into it at all, or maybe just check the first 4. Looks like Freddie, heading back up, still has to do the chest game as well as whatever he wants to do with Thieves Town. So we'll have to see what they do here. It's going to be interesting.
He's doing that map double check. He's like, is Thieves Town a pendant? Did I see that right? Yeah, you did. So we'll see what he decides. In a situation like this, you know, it's still 0-0 in this series. He has the option to kind of take a gamble, so he could just gamble, let me just do the entire dungeon. Maybe it has the thing I need. Or he could gamble, let me skip entirely. He is at least entering. We'll see whether he decides to continue beyond the front.
Yeah, and Dragonmaster looks to be doing the same. A full heart already, that's actually really nice at this time, since their health is still pretty low. And they do have the option of just going and completing Skull Woods right now, but with only the Fighter's Sword, Mothula can be pretty scary on low health.
Yeah, 6 hearts, Mothula, even with blue mail, it's just miserable. They do have that red potion, of course, so it makes it slightly better, and like they have the boots so that they can do like a certain version of the strat where you can try to pin him near the top for a little bit, but it's still just terrible.
Yeah, not too fun. So both runners continuing through the first part of Thieves Town here. Nothing really of note so far. There's the small key. Freddie's gonna jump off this way and then get bunny beam, take some intentional damage to get unbunny beam. He might be trying to damage down to die out of here, but they do have a fairy in a bottle. So I hope that if this is the death warp. Looks like it. Oh no!
Yeah, no, 100%
Oh, no.
he forgot. Alright, so Freddie takes his death and is going to fairy, and Dragonmaster is continuing in the dungeon. We'll see if this fairy causes Freddie to just be like, okay, you know what, I'll actually continue, but I would be surprised. Oh my god! Okay, no, he's just finding his asset. I was going to die if he actually did just be like, oh, oops, I failed the death warp, time to finish Thieves Town.
Dragonmaster finds out about that stun prize now and is maybe thinking, oh shoot, I should have done that in Aghanim Tower.
Yeah, it actually saved Freddie a very substantial amount of time in Aghanim Tower, which helped him offset that the time he spent on that Eastern Palace trip, so that's part of why he's currently ahead here.
Looks like Freddie's gonna go for Skull here. Completable Crystal is generally a good call. He probably would have wanted to have kept the fairy for it, but I mean, it's all right. Good. He has a potion, and with the hammer, fire rod, you know, you can find some way to take Moth down.
Dragonmaster's a little bit paranoid, rightly so, of these grasshoppers, but then he gets a Master Sword out of the chest, so now they're a lot easier to deal with. That is a really important and nice find for him, and if that's the only item in the back of this dungeon, there's a very good chance Freddie never gets there, and that will result in a one sword difference for the entirety of the race, which could be the difference maker in the end.
Yeah, I think going back here and only finding that, even if Dragonmaster goes all the way to killing Blind and gets nothing else, that's probably worth it just for the sword. Unless Freddie gets up to Tempered fairly quickly, the swords just save you such a huge amount of time on bosses that it's really nice. Like, just Master Sword on this Mothman would be really convenient as well for Freddie, but he's going to be going in, Fire Rod, Hammer, Fighter's Sword, and see what he can do.
So Dragonmaster realizing, again, without Glove, this one weird detour you have to do in Thieves Town, this comes up almost never, but you do have to go around this way. He'll check his big chest. Freddie's actually doing the back of Skull first. Oh my gosh. Well, there's the value. That's a bow located in the big chest of Thieves Town, and Freddie will absolutely require that item.
I guess the good news for Freddie is that he will find that sword, but it might be a while. After you leave Thieves Town like that, you generally do not go back for quite some time, so we'll have to see. Maybe Freddie will go back after Skull if there's not too much progression here, but I think much more likely he'll just head down, go to Hype Cave, and be bowless for quite a while.
Yeah, that's gonna be really rough, and you know that's the thing about Pendant Thieves Town sometimes is, you know, you like it because you're like, hey, you know, I don't want to do Thieves Town. It's long, it's boring, but boy, it sure seems to have the value, especially when you only find one non-dungeon item in the front. The other three in the back have been the Master Sword, the bow, and question marks.
Alright, so we've got some synced boss fights going here. Dragonmaster trying to stay on Blind's script. Looks great in phases 1 and 2. Freddie got at least one hammer hit on Mothzilla here and is trying to do some Fire Rod action. Gets hit a little bit. Going for maybe one more hammer hit that might use the red potion. Kind of switching back and forth. Dragonmaster takes out Blind, gets a green potion and that pendant, so it's the bow and the sword that's significant there from, oh boy, Thieves Town. But Freddie is forced to use that potion. Moth is getting a bit lower and is able to take that bug down. Actually did need the potion though. Oh, there's Silvers.
That's a really nice pickup. Would go really well with that bow that he's not going to find for a long time, potentially. I don't know, of course you can't assume when a runner is going to, you know, make the decision to go back on that particular decision. It just seems pretty unlikely that he'll go there very soon, but now is kind of the moment of the truth. He got one item, I believe, in Skull, so there's going to be one more. He is going back and check this back chest, which will be a pretty slow trip because of no mirror, but then we'll see whether he says, okay, I didn't get enough stuff, let me go try Thieves Town.
Yeah. Looks like Dragonmaster is going with a similar Skullwoods route here, trying to not have to go into the front at all. And Freddie grabs the big key there, so that might be the path to the second item. So you may have just had to come to the back anyways to get yourself started on anything in Skullwoods.
You know, the one thing that is good for Freddeh, at least, is if you've done the front of Thieves Town, although it kind of dissuades you from going back for the back, it is not that much slower to go back in, so that, fortunately, is not a huge deal. Dragonmaster takes a little bit of a fall there in that room, which only costs him 1 health, but you know, that's one of the sources of damage that is irrespective of what mail you have, so you really want to not take as many of those as possible, but Dragonmaster being on 5.5 hearts, you should be okay here.
Yeah, he also still has a red potion and the fairy and the master sword, so definitely probably not going to be too worried about this moth fight. We did
He's got
see
a green
Freddeh.
potion as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. Freddeh used the stun prize in this room to refill magic before moth, but Dragonmaster is just going to beat this poor Gibdo up with the sword and go into moth with no magic, but you know, definitely it has the equipment to do this. Ugh.
That's the worst troll. Freddie's got one more chance of this bomb jump before he needs to maybe go walk outside. Alright, well, let's watch Mothula.
Pay no attention to the screen on the right. Dragonmaster is going for some master spins here, but Mothula says, no, that's scary, I'm gonna hide in the corner where I'm invincible. Now comes out a bit, takes a bit more damage. Dragonmaster doing a nice job there, and just take the bug down.
Alright, Freddeh hesitated for a little bit before deciding what to do. He did get the second non-dungeon item installed. It was a piece of heart, which didn't, actually I think it did give him a refill, so that's pretty nice, but he's going to save and quit and head back to that Aghanim portal, and I would not be surprised if this were possibly a pod play, but I think everything's a pod play, so who knows.
Yeah, I think maybe Hype Cave first, and then pod. You can just hammer down the pegs from here. He's probably, when he was waiting on that same boat, was thinking if he wanted to walk down through South Dark World from where he was, or if he just wanted to take this portal. Decided this is probably a little bit faster to go in this way.
Yeah, your intuition is correct here, as he is heading to the west, southwest, and he'll check out the Hype Cave, and we'll see what nice things potentially await us here. Possibly nothing, possibly something.
Now, the best result for Freddeh here is actually that there's nothing here, because anything that opens up more locations to him is just going to delay that potential bow find. Although I guess at this point, the damage has been done, because it's likely that Freddeh will go check out Pod and Eastern before heading back to Thieves Town. Well, there is the powder. That is some inspiration to go back to Cat Rico. Not that that leads you to Thieves Town, because they can't use the Dark World portal there. They don't have the mirror.
Yeah, the lack of the mirror is going to be an annoyance. If he gets the mirror and the mitt, that at least might encourage him to head over there. But of course, the mitt and the mirror both open up a very large number of locations together, so you also kind of don't want that.
Yep, Dragonmaster now doing this reverse clear of Skullwoods, looking for that last item, that piece of heart. Freddie's getting a look at a couple new locations for us. South Dark World, we've got Stumpy, who has the Power Glove.
I was wondering when that glove was going to show up. It was about time. So there it is, number 1. Just need another one of those. And again, a mirror, a flippers, and we found the bow. It's in the back of Thieves Town. So the question is when Freddeh heads back there to collect his Master Sword and bow. But just very few items remaining for Go mode. This could potentially be a very fast seed if, for example, all those other items just show up in pod.
Yeah, that's very possible, because what is even left? We don't need the flute, we don't need the ice rod. We need the mirror and the flippers.
Well, so let's think about it this way. Imagine that all 3 of the mirror, flippers, and mitt are in pod, blocked by the bow. Now, in that case, Dragonmaster is going to be able to get a very, very quick go mode. However, Freddeh will also get there, presumably. He will maybe even use like a bottle glitch to sequence break it or something, and he will realize, oh, I am completely blocked here by the bow, even though I got all these items that I need, which means that it has to be somewhere not blocked by that. So, he would probably still get to Thieves Town. So that would be a really good result for both players, basically.
Yeah, first we're going to get Freddeh taking a look at North Dark World. Dragonmaster is carrying on down through the south. We'll go digging game, Stumpy, then over to Hype Cave, and then I guess Dragonmaster, in Dragonmaster's shoes, just continuing to pod makes a huge amount of sense because it is clearable.
Yeah, this will result in a very efficient route for him, so he'll save back some of that time he lost not being able to do Aga Tower fast. The old man yields a hard container, which is, again, very, very appreciated, as Freddeh still has only 8 total even after that.
Yeah, when you're sitting on Fighter's Sword, you really want all the health you can get. Nice spin speed there from Freddeh. Will be heading up Death Mountain, tricking out that ladder with the bomb carry. And get a look at Spectacle Rock here. Up top, it's a shield, nobody cares. And inside, what will we see? Full heart, probably not worth going around for.
Yeah, you see that and you're like, man, I really want that, but I'm not going to spend all that time to go get it. Even if you know the bomb jump, that's pretty slow. And Freddeh's actually going to take this portal here and probably go into Hype Cave. Which is pretty, or Hype Cave, Spike Cave. Dragonmaster's going to Hype Cave. This is a pretty good play here at this point, since he can just save and quit back to the old man to be able to quickly get to the east side.
Yeah, if you don't do this now, then who knows when the heck you're going to do it. So Freddeh says, yeah, let's just get it out of the way now. Dragonmaster will be grabbing this powder, and I think not much else that was in here. And Freddeh, is Spike Cave hype? No. That's the bug net.
Well, I mean, it's hype if you like memes, but that's about it.
I mean, I do like memes, but I would have rather seen an item.
Dragonmaster's at the point with his bomb count where he can just kind of spread him around as he goes to meme a little bit. So as he leaves Hype Cave, he drops one in a little bit of a protest, like, come on, give me something useful.
Yeah, Dragonmaster's picked up a couple just bomb drops from enemies. Like there's an 8-pack in Mini Boulder Cave, there's some 4s here and there, and just has way more bombs than Freddeh as a result. It's just kind of funny how the enemy drops work out like that. Normally you kind of see sort of similar resource counts on runners, but this time we've got a bomb disparity. Not that that really matters for anything. Freddeh's enough to blow up walls.
Yeah, well, you never know. You always get a little worried when you're low on bombs, like in the sub 5 range, because you could have a real bad time as a result. There's some flippers. This is possibly getting real bad for Freddeh, because he is getting some of those items that unlock a lot of stuff, but also that is one of his last remaining go mode items. It's just mirror, bow, which we know where it is, a sword, which we know where it is, and that remaining glove.
Yes, indeed. So coming up on Paradox Cave, we've got pretty much nothing in those first 3 chests. And taking out this uncooperative Moldarm grabs that red mail. There's a couple bombs.
So, another little bit of bad news for our hypothetical scenario for Freddeh. First chest in pod was a small key, so it is not bow locked, possibly. Probably. Had to amend that because I remembered, like, oh, well, it could still theoretically have only, like, too few keys in the front here.
Yeah, you can pretty much always get around that, though, as long as you get that first key. So Dragonmaster gonna be collecting small keys for a little while here. See, if he opts to just check the vanilla big key chest, and he is going to do this. This chest is often the key for a key, so you can sometimes skip it and try to deduce whether it's a small key or not, but if it is something that you actually need to get, then it's much faster to do it the way the Dragonmaster is doing it. Just get it now before you drop into the basement scroll.
And it is a small key, alas. But Dragonmaster will now collect the drop-down chest, and we'll see that it is another small key. So the 1 or 2 items on the bow side, or I guess possibly 0, but most likely 1 or 2 of the items on the bow side are something interesting that he wants to see.
Yeah.
I guess junk.
You could always just make more keys. That's the way pod works, I think. So Freddeh forced down into the tile room here, because I believe it was just a small key and then something consequential on the first floor. So we'll have to get the big key from down here, and then head up the tower to go kill Moldarm, hopefully get some useful items, or maybe hopefully get nothing useful and get pointed back to Thievestown.
Yeah, and I would not at all be surprised to see Dragonmaster head up to Death Mountain after this as well. There's the big key for pod, and he also picked up yet another small key. So he is now up to a total of, I think that's actually been 4 if I count the number of doors he opened correctly.
Yeah, that's 4 small keys so far. He's gonna bait these beetles around so that he can get this bomb in and then move to the right. Nice. Be able to get by this room. So there's 2 keys left in pod. One of them might be in Harmless Hallway. and Dragonmaster might be able to skip that one. Is looking to be setting up a hammer jump here, just to route through this part a little bit more efficiently. This is a good play. Not having the mirror means you won't have to take a death warp out of the dark maze. You can just kind of carry on through with the small key, big key.
Yep. He's already collected all the small keys in the front, so this works pretty well in terms of the total key count. He won't have to worry about burning one extra and having like backtrack and pick up another one or something like that. So far he's not really finding anything here. He did get a heart container from the big chest, and he's got the map of the dungeon now. I believe the compass still remains, so we'll see that at some point. But otherwise, this has been a very unremarkable pot so far.
Yeah, meanwhile, Freddeh was feeling the full pain of Cloud Room, also having to walk out of there with, you know, relatively high health. It could be pretty slow to death warp off of stealth walls with red mail, so has to do Tower Room, then walk out. There's another sword for Dragonmaster showing up in Pod's basement. That's tempered, so he's very well equipped to be cutting some bosses down.
Yeah, and I think there's going to be a key in one of these two chests. It's not that one, so Hellway had a key, but it's part of Dragonmaster's route anyway. He's just going to walk down through here to get back to the main room so he can quickly access the boss while not having the mirrors. This is a very strong route for him overall, works out pretty well, and he'll be able to finish up the dungeon here, and I believe that the boss is now going to have an item.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we saw the map, yeah, on the menu there. They do have the map and compass already. Freddeh going for that dash above the bumper there on here, but just a little bit too high, falls into the pit. Just gonna have to go back up those stairs real quick.
Freddie's still missing both of these swords nests. He's still rocking the fighter's sword after all this time, whereas Dragonmaster is going to be starting to steadily gain time by virtue of having that much faster killing capability, especially in any of the Dark World dungeons. Now the good news for Freddeh, of course, is he can't really access any of the other Dark World dungeons, so it won't be too bad. And the time loss isn't really going to strike until like he goes to Ice Palace, or if Misery Mire has something, I guess. Please no.
That was a nice hammer molder from Freddeh. Didn't take too long between hits and didn't get knocked around at all. And grabs the ice rod, which I don't know how much we care about that. Maybe we didn't want to see that. We don't want to know that Trinix has the mirror, but yeah.
Well, Freddie's immediately starting to think like, oh god, is Bow in Ganon's tower? And it turns out it's not. Sorry, is Bow in Turtle Rock? And it turns out it's not. But unfortunately, he does not know that yet. And might be a while before he finds out. We'll see. Nice little use of, again, some spin speed, taking off of Tower of Hera and just navigating that screen a little bit quicker. And now he'll check Spiral Cave, and that's going to end his Death Mountain visit, as he doesn't have the Titan's Mitt to be able to check the Dark World version.
Yep, Dragonmaster stepping into this helmet fight right now is going to be taking off the mask, hammering away at it, and then, well, could opt for a silver arrow to the face afterwards, or could just go for 4 slashes with the tempered sword. Either way, Helma's going to go down pretty fast, and it looks like... Okay, I was wrong. It was the 1 slash into silver arrow combo.
Well, having that glove, Freddeh is heading what appears to be directly to the east, so he is gonna swim. Right, that makes sense.
Those flippers were, what, in Paradox Cave, I think?
That's correct, in the bottom.
Alright.
Or top, whatever.
You know, the location.
Yeah, the part of Paradox Cave that is definitely, that makes sense, yeah. You know, Sigma, I just realized one other item that is required in addition to the remaining mirror. We know where all the bow and the flippers are. We need either the flute or the book for desert access. I was overlooking that before.
Oh, that's right. I kind of just assumed that they already had their way into desert when they're this close to go mode, but that is not the case. So we're still looking for some things. Dragonmaster is going to be going over to Eastern now. Makes sense to do this play. He's able to full clear it right here with the bow, so also these Sahashla checks done, and Freddie's going to be trying to find something over at Kingzora pretty soon.
Yeah, Dragonmaster collects that Bombos medallion that Freddie's had for a little while, and really hasn't come in handy for him, and probably won't do much for Dragonmaster either for a while. waterfall cave with a heart container and a bomb upgrade. And then we will see the Zora area check. And this actually has not been in logic until just now because the flippers were blocked behind the gloves. So you had neither of those items to access Zora until just now. There's the mitt. That's some news for Freddeh. It's definitely news.
This is a moment where, as a runner, you're like, yes, I found a progression item. This is great. And as somebody watching where you know that it's just going to lead Freddeh away from the bow, you're like, oh no, Freddeh. Oh no. But it is progression, so it was required to come up here. It's just a...
Oh, do not save and quit, Freddeh.
Yeah, jeez.
Giving us a little bit of a heart attack there as viewers, but he does manage to remember the myths before he saves and quits. Dragonmaster heading into Eastern, he finds 10 arrows in the first chest, so that's one of the 3 non-dungeon items located here. And we'll see where Freddeh opts to go, whether those myths somehow, you know, give him a hint to head back to the village, but given the fact that he's going right back to Death Mountain and does not have the flute, I'm guessing not so much just yet. Okay, that's almost no mode. That's the mirror in the east of Eastern Palace.
Wow. So... Isn't that no mode? What are we missing?
Flute or book. That's all I need.
Oh, that's right. I was like, oh, they have the mirror. Now they can mirror the desert. But no, still needs the flute.
Still, yep.
Alright.
One of those 2 things will get them in. And that's all 3 non-dungeon items in Eastern Palace, and unfortunately also means for Dragonmaster that the big key is in the vanilla locations. He's got to go all the way back around to get that to be able to finish the dungeon, which is not quite what you're hoping for, but on the bright side, he got the mirror, and I'm sure he's happy about that.
Yeah. And things like this, like when this happens or when you have to do hair based to the big key, it's like, yeah, it's kind of annoying, but both runners have to do it, so it's fine.
Nothing coming for Freddeh in Super Bunny Cave. He's gonna get to the top of the mountain. He could have actually opened the Turtle Rock Dark World portal and come to the Dark World from there, but instead he is going this way, so he's not going to be able to open the door of Turtle Rock even if he wanted to, or even if he had the medallion. But of course, he probably doesn't want to go in anyway because that is kind of the darkest timeline. Hookshot Cave being pretty underwhelming so far, other than the fact that Freddeh's up to 11 heart containers now, which is actually pretty nice, finally. Dragonmaster's still all the way back on 8.
Yeah, their mail upgrades are pretty good though, so they probably both feel okay. And, well, maybe good news, Turtle Rock's ether, so Freddeh can't even get in yet.
It's a quick moment of thought there for Freddeh. He doesn't have a ton of options. He does have a lot of one-off, a lot? Not even a lot, really. What does he have? He didn't get mirror. Like, catfish is available, but otherwise, like, eh?
The thing that he could do, which would lose him a lot of time, would be going to Pod and Eastern.
Yeah, and so far he hasn't shown much inclination to do that. There's the book. That's no mode.
Alright, so King's Tomb, having that book, the flute could still show up elsewhere. We might see some different paths to the desert in this seed, but we'll have to see. Dragonmaster finishing up Eastern here. Of course, we won't find the flute on Armo since we already got all of the items for this dungeon. This thing we mapped to compass. Freddeh heading over, probably taking the Village of Outcasts portal. This might be that play to Thieves Town, or it might be, you know, maybe some smiths or something like that at this point.
Well, this is a very decisive moment for Freddeh. If he does head directly into Thieves Town, that probably keeps him either very close or possibly even ahead. It's hard to say. Dragonmaster does have 3 crystals, but needs to get kind of on that entire other progression that Freddeh just did. But then again, he's got, you know, a lot of time to do that, and he will be in go mode, I guess, as just from following that, he needs to get the flippers, which are going to lead him to the mitt, which are going to lead him to King's Tomb for the book. So, actually, he's in a great position, really.
Yeah, that's for sure. So Dragonmaster is going to be heading up to Death Mountain now, and all of the checks, like you said, they're just do the dense overworld, and then you will find what you need to find. Freddie's starting the blacksmith chain right now, which might sort of pay off with the flute or potentially a sword, but is not what. We know that it's not likely to have what he needs to get.
Yeah, I can't see them yielding anything else that would be particularly useful for him. Like, another thing that might be nice would be, excuse me, half magic, and we know exactly where that is. It's on Bumper Cave. Freddie's probably not getting it. Dragonmaster's probably not getting it. It's gonna stay there.
Yeah, they both wanted to get it when they were there first, but it's not really worth the trip back, especially since the stun prize is a full magic drop. Like, you're not gonna really have problems with magic management throughout the rest of the seed, I don't think.
Yeah, not having to do Misery Mire Eternal Rock. I guess Ice Palace would be really nice to have, but you'll live if you can do it in Go mode. It's not too crazy, and you do have Bomb Burst if you really, really need it. Freddie's gonna include this Magic Bat visit here. Not having the mirror means he's not gonna be able to do like a slightly more efficient version from the Dark World, but this still could potentially lead him into Thieves Town. And you know, one thing that could save him is if he gets to the big chest in Thieves Town, gets the bow, and just immediately pieces out. Then he still has a chance here, but his window of opportunities is kind of fading.
Yeah, I do think if he does do Thieves Town, he's likely to finish it, because at that point he still won't have that mirror from Eastern, which is, I guess, well, it'll either be mirror or bow that it's his Go mode item, and this could be just finishing the Smith's chain and getting the purple chest here. But we'll see. What are you gonna do, Freddie?
I think bow being his Go mode item would probably be worst case, because that would mean he's gone to Eastern Palace to go pick up that mirror, probably partial dipped pod as well, didn't finish either one of them, and he'll just be in a very, very sad place. And this is the Thieves Town return trip, so this is very big for Freddie. We'll see how this progresses, but first needs to remember to go this way and not check those chests. He's already got those.
Yeah, and this is getting interesting here now. I was thinking, you know, if Freddie goes the pod or EP without the bow in this case, then it's pretty much just a slam dunk for Dragonmaster. It'll be way too much of a time advantage. But as it is now, once things shake out, I'm not quite sure who's going to be in the lead here. I definitely feel good, I think, about Dragonmaster's position, but Freddie has made good progress, didn't put Thieves Town off too long, so he's going to be having definitely a fighting chance in this race.
Yeah, I think the thing that helps Freddie here, the thing that helps Dragonmaster here is he was able, because of the way he did things with Thieves Town coming first and getting that bow, he was able to do a little bit more efficient of a Dark World route, where he continued to the south from the Village of Outcasts and just did all that South Dark World, got his glove, had his bow, just went directly around to pod, and then also saving Quinn and did Eastern. That all worked out really well, whereas Freddie was a little bit less efficient on that. Now, fortunately for Freddie, the required path to get the myths and go back to Dark Death Mountain, that all was... Actually, was there anything required on Dark Death Mountain? I think there wasn't.
I don't think there was.
No, yeah, so never mind. Part of that was irrelevant, but yeah, stuff.
Definitely.
Freddie has a chance. That's my point. There we go.
Yeah, and we know both runners are kind of just on a inevitable trek towards Go mode at this point. Like, it's unlikely that they're going to miss any of the items now, so it's just a matter of who gets there first and how the dungeon completion is looking. We have Dragonmaster sitting at 3 crystals, about to be 4, and Freddie at 2 crystals, about to be 3, but, you know, and by about to be 3, I mean not about to be 3, because it's dependent that, you know, it is what it is.
That's actually a really good point. Yeah, he'll still be behind that crystal count by, it'll be 4-2 as soon as Dragonmaster wraps up Moldorm here. He's being a little bit gun shy there, but he gets the second that spin in and is able to take out the boss. And Freddie will opt to finish Thieves Town, which is a very hard play to not make when you have completed almost all the dungeon and you have found 3 out of the 4 non-dungeon items. It's a little bit scary to say, well, I'm only missing mirror for Go mode, so I'd better just gamble that it's not on blind. It's not long enough to warrant that. But yeah, we're gonna see. Basically, it'll be the length of Freddie's Pod in Eastern Palace versus the length of Dragonmaster doing the entirety of Death Mountain and then hitting up Zora to collect his net. And King's Tomb.
Yeah, that's true. King's Tomb might follow soon after the mid, but Dragonmaster will have a lot of options at that time, so it's kind of just the question, how quickly does he go for it? Or does he find the flute somewhere else entirely? Who knows?
I feel like it's pretty likely King's Tomb will be soon thereafter, but we'll see. Like, you never know. Ditto for Freddeh as far as Eastern goes. Maybe he's going to put off Eastern a crap load, but we'll see. It does make a lot of sense to go directly to Pod and then immediately go afterwards to Eastern. And if so, that means he's going to be able to go mode all of Desert, Swamp, and Ice, which are great dungeons to go mode. Desert's not that long in general, but it is still pretty fast to go mode. If you get that big key, for example, on the Torch, you're just done. Just go to the back.
Swamp and Ice in go mode is really the dream, I think. Those are the dungeons that are just really long when you're
Oh man,
normal way.
Freddeh just picked up that chicken and I had very brief... Oh my gosh! The hammer pegs having the flute for Freddeh, so he is absolutely set now. That is going to be incredibly nice for his travel here.
Yeah, he's ready to get into Desert the fast way. We thought the book was going to be the strategy, but no. There was stuff in that smith area after all. So Freddeh grabs the purple chest, is going to walk it over to activate the flute, and flute down to 7 most likely to finish that up. And then at that point, I think it'll likely be time for Freddeh to start going for dungeons again. Dragonmaster grabs those flippers on East of Death Mountain, so making progress here. Just has to go to Zora area for those mitts, and then find, I guess, either the flute or the book.
Yeah, that's actually really, really good for Dragonmaster, the flute being there, because it means that he basically, if he, like, King's Tomb is slightly less obvious to do, but Blacksmith Chain is going to be really obvious to do, so if he goes and does that, and he's got the mirrors, so it's, you know, it's much less crappy to do. If he goes and does that, he's going to find the flute, and then that's going to be his go mode, so he won't have to worry about getting trolled by King's Tomb.
Dragonmaster bomb jumping back up here. I don't recall if he did Spiral Cave already. That could be what this is. Or maybe he's just heading up to the Turtle Rock portal, potentially. The Dark World approach of it. No, it looks like it is Spiral Cave. Okay.
Here's a question. Do you think Freddeh does Eastern first?
I don't think it... I think Pod first makes more sense, just because if you do find the mirror in Pod, you can just mirror to Eastern. Whereas if you find it in Eastern where it is, it doesn't actually save you any time. Aside from the fact that you're in go mode. But then I'd still want to do Pod first.
You just go into Desert
Maybe...
first.
Alright. Oh yeah, he doesn't have the mirror, okay, so the book.
Well, all of our dreams of, you know, fast optimal routing are going up in smoke, but... But yeah, we'll see what he's going to find in Desert here. He's still on Master Sword. Tempered was in Pod Dark Basement, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's right. And Freddeh may or may not get that one, depending on the dungeon order, because I do believe the big key was just on the right side of Pod, so Freddeh doesn't actually have to go to the back if he gets that mirror first from Eastern Palace.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. And so, you know, you kind of want to see, like, oh, do they get to do, like, the God route or whatever? Now, Dragonmaster is actually heading into Swamp immediately, so he is not going to be able to go mode this dungeon because he is still missing Mitt and Flute and Book. Any of the two of those, of course, but mostly the Mitt. So he is going to not go mode Swamp, and that is going to potentially cost him a whole lot. The question is Freddeh, you know, going to do something similar that will cost him a whole lot of time? But this is a big window for Freddeh, basically.
Yeah, that's for sure. If Dragonmaster had just beelines the progression that Freddeh has already found, then I think it would be curtains for Freddeh in this race. But as it is, there's going to be a little bit of time given back, because there's no way that Freddeh gets into Swamp on go mode at this point.
Yeah, because the mirror, having that mirror is actually the kind of the thing that's tripping up Dragonmaster right here, and he gets the Ether Medallion to access Turtle Rock from that second chest, which I'm sure he'll be fine and not end up going into there, because boy, that would just be the absolute darkest.
Oh man, that would be such a crazy play. Just you've already done so much on Death Mountain. You go back up for Turtle Rock. Although I guess if you're just completely dungeon oriented at this point, it is overworld locations that actually have the final progression. So hopefully Dragonmaster does stop with the dungeons after finishing Swamp, being unable to do any more crystals, and takes a look at some of those overworld locations.
Well, Freddie's made it to the back of Desert. He did get both dungeon items, and they were both, non-dungeon items, and they were both rupees, so not really valued here in Desert Palace. I guess literally they have value, but not much value to us. So we don't really need rupees at this point. Freddie just needs to find his mirror from Eastern Palace, and that's it for him for go mode.
Yeah, so Dragonmaster. Be interesting to see what the decision is on how much of Swamp to do. A lot of players will skip the two really slow chests on the left side. Sometimes they base that decision on how many items they find so far, and it has been Ether and a red rupee so far, so we haven't seen any indication of map counts, but Dragonmaster is going to be thorough. Slightly faster to do the dungeon this way if you end up going, rather than going back into the left side and after, so that's what Dragonmaster is going to go for, just playing thorough here.
Yeah, so Freddie is basically getting a nice big opportunity to make up some time against his opponent here, thanks to this particular play, but really just not letting that missed bow in Thieves Town, like not letting that screw him by basically saying, I'm not going to Pod in Eastern until I check this out. And there's 3 items there, 3 non-dungeon items, so that was a really good call by him, particularly in the context of the seed, but overall, making a call like that is kind of part of, getting to this point in the bracket, basically.
Yeah, that is definitely true for sure. So Freddie fluting away from Desert. If it's number 5, then that's a good sign. It's number 6.
Yeah, he's gonna check Meyer area, figure out if his mirror's in the shed possibly, and what the medallion is, of course.
Oh man, I hope he doesn't go in. If he can get in, it seems like it would be a great play, but didn't even look at the
didn't even
medallion,
check.
So probably is thinking, yeah, I'm just gonna do the shed and get out of here.
Well, another heart container, not a bad reward. Left side of Swamp having a compass for a Dragonmaster, and the other chest having a shield. Yay.
Well, that's left side Swamp for you. That's why people like to skip them, but then just as easily, we've seen plenty of races where somebody does it, the other person skips it, and then the bow's over there, or something like that. Freddie is making that play over. Oh, he's actually going to do Eastern first. I pulled out the hammer. I thought he was going for the Dark World, but says, no, let's do EV first. That's going to be a big deal, because he gets the Go Mode pod.
Yeah, well.
Which might be bad for him, because he misses
the sword. The sword, dude. Oh, man. So it is a big play, but possibly a bad big play. We'll find out, I guess. But it's going to save him a lot of time here. He's going to have the opportunity to Go Mode pod, Swamp, and Ice Palace, which until Dragonmaster, gets to Zora to pick up that mid, this actually looks like Freddie's back in command now.
Yeah, now that I think about this route, this might actually make a lot of sense when you don't have the mirror, because you can just flute back down to 5 and then walk back up. But if you do pod first, then you have to save a quid. I hadn't thought about it that way, but Freddie is going to be finding that mirror soon. Dragonmaster checking the map. Missed the button there. We'll be dashing up towards our guess. Basically, we're not finding anything in Swamp because there's nothing left to find. It's just Hammer Pegs and Kingston. And I mean Zora area first because he needs the glove mid thing.
There it is, dude. 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 29 seconds. Go mode for Freddie. Collects his mirror from Eastern Palace. Dragonmaster just needs to get to Zora, and he's going to be in go mode as well. And he has 4 out of the 7 crystals done. Freddie is about to collect his 4th. Unfortunately, he has to do the same lengthy trip around the entirety of Eastern Palace, so we'll see. He'll probably continue checking chests, as without that Tempered Sword, stuff that's in his way, he might as well just check.
Yeah, Yeah, that's for sure. Dragonmaster making quick work of Argus here is going to be trying to get all the puffs down before there's a second spin, and it looks like it's on a great pace for that. Just has to get this last one to cooperate. Oh my goodness, it's hiding so well. But he managed to dodge that second spin cycle, so he'll just do 2 tempered spins, and Argus will go down.
Is crystal number 5.
Yeah, this is a really interesting race situation we have here. Because one runner, Freddeh, in go mode, but lacking that crystal count, only has 3 crystals. Dragonmaster's up at 5 crystals, but just needs to make a couple plays to grab Mitt and then Booker Flute. And who knows who's gonna come out ahead of this.
Yeah, there's overworld plays. This is gonna be tough to make, but you know, both of those are pretty straightforward. Dragonmaster is going to the west here. I don't know if he's checked K45. That may be what he's heading for. Yeah, looks like it.
That makes sense. That mirror was hidden for a while. Dragonmaster would get a lot before Freddeh, but both runners mirrorless for quite some time, so.
One minor difference we noted on Freddie's side here as he goes through Eastern Palace is Dragonmaster actually stopped to check the big chest in Eastern because he kind of lost his count of the items there, but Freddeh remembered that all 3 non-dungeon items were before the big chest, so Dragonmaster collected the map of Eastern Palace and Freddeh just skipped it. Just a minor thing that, you know, that's the kind of thing that it is easy to talk about in commentary. It's easy to remember if you're watching. Sometimes it's pretty hard to remember while you're playing.
Yeah, or you get to that part and you think, oh, wait, did I check? Did I count all that? And then you just, rather than opening your menu and looking, you say, okay, whatever, let's just get it. It does not take that long to get the EP big chest. Dragonmaster here is going back to Overworld, but it looks like, I thought this was gonna be Catfish, but instead maybe Pyramid Ledge, Graveyard Ledge. Can't do.
Yeah, that one.
Oh wait. He can do Kings too because of the mirror, but
yeah.
like it's not useful because he still needs the Titan's Fed.
Well,
oh wait, that's the book. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that's
no,
the book.
this is
He'll be
the
able to do
book,
Desert,
so
but he
this is
still needs
good.
the Fed.
The question is whether this will prevent him from going and continuing to do Catfish, which I feel like he will, so I think we'll be seeing go mode before too long. Freddeh just wrapped up Eastern Palace. He has collected his 4th crystal, and he is in go mode, so all he has to do is wrap up Pod, Swamp, and Ice, all of which will be very quick, but Dragonmaster is going to be potentially in go mode very, very soon. He's going to mirror to King's Tomb, get his book, and then he just needs to continue over to Catfish, check that, just a little bit of time investment, and then collect his Mitt from the Zora area.
Yeah, no, the question is, will Dragonmaster do Catfish Zora area, or is he going to take that book directly to Desert? This is going to be a big determining factor. Use the portal or not? What are you going to do? Looks like he's using the portal, so that's looking good for Dragonmaster's approach to go mode.
He doesn't have the Mitt, so he has to go all the way around to the left, of course, but yeah, with the flippers, he'll swim across the little moat here, get to the Catfish, find out whatever kind of garbage he has, and then we will be seeing him enter go mode in about, I want to say, a minute and a half or so. While Freddeh is entering Pod, he needs to get that big key and get his way to the back here.
And now the fun thing for Dragonmaster is he'll actually be in go mode, like he'll know where the Mitts are before he actually pays Zora, so he'll be able to just walk straight by and grab them. Might still do it in hopes of a 4th sword, I suppose, but you know, when you have the opportunity to pass Zora up, you gotta take it.
I will also note that he just passed by the opportunity to like mirror to the Witch's Hut to pick up items, and that is because he has a fairy, he has a green potion, and 2 red potions, and Freddeh is going directly to the back in Pod, doing the most incorrect thing possible. So this is actually a little bit... now, I'm straight up, I have no idea who is going to come out of this all ahead. Dragonmaster's going to be able to go mode Ice, and it looks like all that time save that Freddeh could have realized from his not go moding Swamp might just not be realized here.
Yeah, well, I mean, the good news for Freddeh is he will find the Tempered Sword here, but he has to now go back to the front to get the big key. I guess that was inevitable. I'm not quite sure if the Tempered saves enough time to justify going back to get it. He's probably just trying to skip the bow room entirely, as Freddie's thinking. Like, it's most likely that the big key's back here because it's got more chests, I guess. Dragonmaster grabs those mitts, is in go mode. Just has desert and ice left to do.
There's one minor note for Freddie that he does have the flute, whereas Dragonmaster will definitely not be getting it. He's not going back to check out hammer pegs, but he is in go mode about hour 9, so that is still potentially a very good time for him. He just needs to finish up ice and desert. Those are quick dungeons, especially in go mode, and Freddie is going to soon have to head over to the bow side of pod as he's finished up the back.
Yeah, it looks like he's got to check this basement chest here as well. That was an interesting play on pod, just trying to like streamline a big key in the back, but since the big key wasn't there, ended up having to do more checks. Dragonmaster now into Ice Palace, and I think this is an edge for Dragonmaster here because Freddie's gonna have to do this same bit of ice, and even in go mode, swamp is longer than desert, so
Yeah, I agree. That's probably a minute or 2 for Dragonmaster, but I guess it's hard to say. They both have to do ice, so that is a wash. So actually, it could be more than that, just because of Swamp being slow and Freddie has not even finished Palace of Darkness yet. He will in the next couple minutes, but Dragonmaster will be well on his way in ice by that time. So yeah, probably more like several minutes.
yeah. It's always fun, you know, when runners find different ways into desert and seeds. It's interesting. Although they will both use the book because Freddie found that flute but no mirror at that time, so I guess they'll use the same way to desert. Freddie just was managed to find them both. I suppose the big kind of difference in their times is Freddie just ending up doing that blacksmith chainlink. That's a pretty time-consuming series of checks. Did net the flute, but Dragonmaster's just never gonna have to do that.
Yeah, he also had the opportunity to, save a little time in desert by not having to, by being able to go mode that. He checked Mire Shed, which Dragonmaster's just never gonna need to check. A couple minor things. He also checked Dark Death Mountain. There was nothing there. I don't believe Dragonmaster. Well, no, he definitely didn't get there because Titan's Mill versus go mode, which, by the way, is a really nice go mode item. Highly recommend.
Yeah, if you want fast seed, that's what you do. You have Titan's Mid as your last item. It still unlocks so many locations. You can't get into Ice, Fire, or Turtle Rock, so all of those dungeons are not going to be required. Dragonmaster, preserving a little bit of health, not damage boosting through that spike trap there, just to maybe make sure that Cold Stare doesn't get too nasty.
He does have the red mail, he does have 13 hearts, but you never really want to mess around too much with Cold Stare. He still does about 1 million damage when you touch him, and as you know, 1 million is more than 13.
May or may not actually be 1 million, but we'll see. Dragonmaster might even not test it for us, and just do the fight without getting hit. Freddie's hammering away at Helmstor now as Dragonmaster drops into that Cold Stare fight momentarily.
Kind of a crappy Helmosaur pattern for Freddie, getting some fireballs in his face, but he's just dealing with them and getting all those hits in. With red mail, he's just like, whatever, I'm just going to keep swinging until he dies.
There's that one silver arrow. Dragonmaster bombos him down. Cold Stare's shell gets him spun into the corner, slashes away, gets a good amount of damage in, so all of the puffs are pretty low. Looks like maybe 2 or 3 slashes to each of them will finish them off at this point. And there goes Cold Stare. Nice fight.
That's Crystal 5 for Freddie on the right. This is Crystal 6 for Dragonmaster on the left. And as mentioned, he does have a pretty substantial advantage. It's all he's got to finish up his Desert Palace, while Freddie needs to wrap up both Swamp and Ice, which despite being in go mode, I mean, you saw how long Dragonmaster's took. It was around 3 or 4 minutes. And Freddie's going to have to do that and then also do Swamp. So, yeah, actually, this is a pretty sizable advantage for Dragonmaster going into this last stretch to collect his 7th crystal and wrap up the game.
Yeah, the only rough thing for Dragonmaster is having killed Egg and having the mirror, save and quit over the Dark World. You end up back in the pyramid, so he gets the mirror and then save and quit and then run the desert manually. So much effort, but it's still going to be less time than Freddie has to go through for his remaining dungeons. So yeah, definitely looking good for Dragonmaster here right now.
Yeah, we saw the cross-world high five by the two runners there as they were both on the same screen, but in the light versus the dark world. And Dragonmaster does lose a little bit of time by having to traverse all this ground instead of being able to just flute here, but it's not that much. And his Desert Pal should be a little bit shorter than Freddie's as a result of just all he needs is the big key and then he can just move on.
Yeah, that's true. So Dragonmaster is sitting through the entering desert cutscene. Freddie's got the water lowered on Swamp and it's going to be heading in there, probably checking. I would imagine nothing, actually, having Tempered Sword already. Maybe you do like one chest in the back part, maybe.
Probably not. Especially if you have Tempered and Silver. It's just going to say, you know what, it's not even worth like the 3 seconds of time investment to check this one chest. So there's such a low chance that it's actually anything. And by anything, I mean Gold Sword. That's the only thing that would matter.
Yeah. They had maybe slightly less resources still. Like if you're on 9 hearts greenmail at this point, you can say, well, maybe I want to give myself a bit more of a buffer in case I hug Ganon later on. Grab some safeties potentially, but they have 4 bottles, powder, red mail, 12 hearts. That's basically armed to the teeth at this point.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if anything could actually manage to kill either of these two runners, even in Ganon's Tower. They'll be well equipped to make sure that they're protected during their run. But Freddeh gotten through the opening section of Swamp and the almost, he kind of faked this out as if he was going to that compass room, but he does not. He's just going straight to the back, and again, he is in go mode, so he gets to do this very quickly, but Dragonmaster is already heading to the back of Desert, so it will be approximately a 1 dungeon advantage for him as we get to the end here.
Yeah. And that dungeon being Ice Palace, I mean, Ice Palace is pretty fast, but those couple minutes are really hard to make up, and Dragonmaster's execution of this has been pretty much on point, so I wouldn't expect him to really give Freddeh much of an opportunity to catch up in Ganon's Tower.
So what you're saying is, we need some Ganon Falls.
Yeah, Ganon Falls are a disaster is what Freddie's hoping for. I would imagine in this situation, if he knew what the situation was, but you know, if I was in Freddie's shoes, I don't think I would feel too bad about how this seed went. Like, things went pretty well for him. He did a couple checks that he didn't need to, but, you know, you wouldn't be sure if you were ahead or not in either runner's shoes at this time. Freddeh would definitely be more inclined to think he's behind after that Thieves Town bow.
Yeah, I think the Thieves Town bow has got to be the thing that makes you think, oh man, I'm in real trouble because of having just spent that time not being able to do Pod and Eastern, which as it turns out, Eastern having that mirror, you're just gonna know like, oh man, like I could have been in go mode a fair bit faster and I just wasn't. And I mean, the mirror only caused minimal like trolling, so to speak, for Dragonmaster in the sense of him getting to, to do Swamp a little bit earlier than he really should have and having to not go mode it. But otherwise, it worked out really well for him. So Dragonmaster has completed 7 crystals, and I guess now we'll play the mini game, shall we?
Oh yeah, let's do that. So, in chat, you can drop a number between 1 and 22. Which chest you think the Ganon's Tower big key is going to be in? If you've either subbed or cheered 250 bits on any of the speed gaming channels, you'll be entered into the leaderboard for the guessing game if you're the closest guesser among those people. So get those guesses in. We'll be leaving the game open until Dragonmaster steps into GT, and then it'll be closed, and we'll all just be wondering where it is. So, Hula, where do you think the key is going to be today?
I'm gonna go with number 14. I don't even remember what number 14 ends up corresponding to, but that's the number I'm picking.
Yeah, that's about the time when I start to lose count about what chest we're actually at. I'll go with number 6 myself. I like the ambiguity of whether that chest is actually on the right or the left, depending on their route.
Well, Freddeh is beginning his Ice Palace visit, which will be quick, but unfortunately not that quick, and Dragonmaster is already heading up the mountain. That flute not going to help Freddeh too much in this seed, unfortunately, because it came so late. Didn't really save him a ton of travel time. So he is going to have a pretty tough road to climb here. He's going to need potentially some sort of insane thing to happen here in terms of Ganon's tower routing. Because Dragonmaster's getting to this door, so you just have a few more moments to get your guesses in, and then we'll close it off. But right about now, Dragonmaster is in the driver's seat. He has full control, and he just needs to continue playing solidly as he has, and not make any catastrophic errors. If he's feeling any nerves or whatever, he just has to kind of compartmentalize those and not think about them too hard.
Yep, that's right. So we're in there. Let's see what we've got coming up. The first chest, it's the mushroom. Second chest, red rupee. So not much choice here. You have to go to the left to find a key. And that's what Dragonmaster will do, gearing back, walking over the left side. Chest number 3 is this torch, even though they may or may not actually get anything.
I was just thinking about the gold sword. Where was that going to be? And well, there it is. So not having found it yet, 3 chests down. Dragonmaster will continue to the west, get to the Smelfos room, or as it's sometimes called, the Dark Magician room, because there's a really questionable route for Ganon's tower that involves this room. But Dragonmaster's not doing that. He's going to collect a couple small keys here. A red rupee, and number 7 is a small key, so he is loaded for bear as far as keys are concerned. If there's a bear that requires keys to defeat, he is loaded for that. This is a very poor analogy. Save me, Sigma.
Yeah, I can't even really follow up on that, so we're just going to move on to chest number 8, the firebar room, which is a piece apart. And now a little bit of a breather as we move towards chest 9, and then the bunch of chests hanging out in the render room. That's okay. The cane block was being annoyingly placed, but Freddeh is on that cold stare fight now, so almost his way. Gets the spin, so the cold stare's in the corner, gets a bunch of good damage in there. Just a couple more slashes, and he's gonna switch to the fire rod since it does twice as much damage as tempered slashes here. Manages to take out those puffballs pretty fast, but Dragonmaster already looking to be getting towards chest number 9, so in a commanding position right now in this race.
Yeah, Dark Magician might be the thing required for Freddeh to get in this, but even that, not necessarily going to save him, because Dragonmaster is going to be at the Armorer's Knights very soon. So he is going to check out that randomizer room, that good old room that has 4 completely unnecessary items of low worth in non-randomizer, but in this, it might have the thing that he needs.
Yeah, so let's see what we got. That's 10, 11 red rupees, 12 is a piece apart, and 13 is going to be the Ganon's Tower Big Key, I think.
Wait, is that 14?
Shoot, was it?
Hold on, we're going to count them out. 2 and 1. Sorry, 2 on the left, on the right. 1 is the torch. 4 in the thing, that's 7. Then the fire rod room, then the fire bar room. That's 9, right? 10, 11, 12, 13? Is that right? No. Yes?
I think it's
yes.
13. People in chat are
13.
They're saving us.
That's true. You never, the chat is never wrong.
It's more fingers than I have, so I was
I'm a programmer. I don't know how to count. I don't let the computers do it. Alright. Freddie's heading up to Ganon's tower, but Dragonmaster is already heading up, and unfortunately for Freddeh, there really is no route that would save him right now, as the left side, the randomizer room, is basically about as deep as you can get. And you can't even do a right side first route, so he really needs Dragonmaster to mess up in some major way, but Dragonmaster has shown no signs of doing that in his race. He has played very well and looks to be continuing to do so. Yeah,
really solid play from Dragonmaster. We saw his Landmo 1 coming up on Landmo 2 was a quick 1 cycle with the silver arrows, and I would imagine to see the same thing here. It is a little bit more difficult with the fireball thing shooting at you, but Dragonmaster making quick work of these gauntlet rooms. Just gonna be trying to get an arrow to land in Stelphos, but it ends up missing, just causing a bit of lags. And it's not a Stelphos, but it is enemy. It's dead. Good.
The thing, yeah, the guy.
Move on.
Well, Dragonmaster, actually, we saw him before this race practicing the Silver Arrow strats on Landmos, both 1 and 2. So putting those to really good use in this race right after demonstrating, his ability to do them in practice. So he's making sure that he's not going to lose time on something like taking extra cycles on Landmolas. And Freddeh enters Ganon's tower. He checked the right side. He's going to go to the left now, and he'll be proceeding towards that randomizer room and trying to collect that golden sword and look at those Landmolas, or should I say, look at those explosions where Landmolas briefly were before they disintegrated in a, catastrophic thing of analogies, metaphors, something.
Yeah, that was a really nice fight, just all according to plan there. Dragonmaster going through Wizrobes 1, coming up on Wizrobes 2. And I would be shocked to see anything other than 1 cycle here. His execution's great so far, and indeed. Oh! Alright. Alright. Can't win them all.
Jinxed him. That's rude. He's gonna watch this back and he's gonna be like, what the heck,
Alright, I would be shocked to see him fail to light these torches in time. I mean, that one's actually not gonna happen, there's no way, but I gotta try to make
You gotta say things, don't you? Revealing the true commentary bias here is what's going on.
Listen, I always cheer for the underdog. I always want to see a close race, right? Never mind, just don't worry about it. Dragonmaster getting through these top couple rooms doesn't even need to stop to kill the little Helmasaur here. He's got the keys necessary so they can live another day.
He's definitely not going to bother checking any chests. He's got red mail, silver arrows, gold sword, 14 heart containers, and he's got powder, so he has zero reason to check anything remaining. It would just be a waste of the extra time. And again, runners in randomizer races, they don't get to know where their opponent is, which means Dragonmaster has no idea if Freddeh is already on Ganon, or if he's right behind him, just coming into the Moldorm 2 room, or if, as in reality, he is still just entering the randomizer room about to pick up his big key. So, whatever the situation is, Dragonmaster has to play as fast as possible, so he will be continuing to the top here.
Yeah, and it can definitely get hard to play in these scenarios where you just don't know where your opponent is. I know a lot of runners will close the speed racing TV window once they're in GT because they just don't want to know. They just want to focus on their game and get through as well as they can. So coming into Ega 2 here, we'll see how Dragonmaster's geometry has managed to get a double on that first cycle. So pretty good for 6 hits to take down the 2. Oh, salvaged it.
Yeah, not as good, but he managed to at least get one there. This one looks really good, but he gets a blue ball. Still salvages a double from it, so it's a 2-1-2 so far. Just one more to go. And there it is. Agatu defeated. We find out, spoiler, it's actually Ganon. Oh my goodness, who would have expected this?
I'm surprised by that every time. I mean, they randomize the final enemy, right? It's not always Ganon.
No, that's in FF4 Free Enterprise. They're thinking of that one.
Okay, wrong randomizer.
Alright, Freddeh heading up to the gauntlet with 2.5 hearts. Probably feeling the pressure a little bit, but that's a little bit scary. He does have the million potions, but no fairy, because he already burned that. But on the left side, we're seeing Dragonmaster's Ganon fight, and this should be very straightforward for him. He already wraps up phase 1, gets kind of a weird Ganon position on phase 2. There's a reason that happens that I'm sure somebody in chat knows, but I don't remember. I just know that it does happen if you do a certain thing.
Oh god,
and that's the fire bat dodges.
Down at half a heart. I feel like he might actually have a fairy since he's not drinking a potion while at half a heart.
Oh, yeah, no, actually, he netted a fairy earlier. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, look at those fake shots by those BMOs. That was weird.
Dude, this is a video game, okay? That's all I know about it.
Seems legit. Phase 3 Ganon, left side, yeah. Right, there's an arrow for no particular reason.
I think he was maybe expressing his sentiments about the fact that Ganon just teleported like 6 times.
Alright, well, here we go. One arrow for Ganon. Gets the Torchlight with the Fire Rod, very nice. Tried to get the stun while Ganon was still in the middle, didn't quite get it. Dodges a Fire Bat, there's number 2.
2 more. Can't really get a double from this position, so we'll have to light his torches again and manage to catch Ganon before he gets away. That'll do it. That's 4 arrow shots. Ganon's down. Dragonmaster just has to wait for this cutscene and then walk up, and that's gonna be that. GG.
Yeah, GG to Dragonmaster. He will claim the victory in game 1 of this match, and he'll move to 1-0 over Freddeh. So it is a best of 3. Freddie's got an opportunity to win his way back and take the series eventually with a 2-1, but for now he will not be on top here, and he'll just finish up Ganon's tower. He's doing pretty well here since that little set of incidents with the low health. He's making pretty good time up the towers, so he should be finishing over the next couple minutes. I did manage to find Dragonmaster's. There was some lengthy chat between Freddeh and Dragonmaster after they finished up, but Dragonmaster's SRTV time is 1:28:47, so GG to him.
Yeah, that was really well played from him. That seed just basically, avoided all dungeon double dips and managed to not do too much that was slow. Basically, just the only thing that was really gave Freddeh an opportunity to make up time was having to do Swamp without being in go mode, but even that was not too bad. Freddeh going for some dash action here and managed to take out Molder with the slash. Unfortunately, has powder equipped, so we'll have to wait for the explosion first before hookshotting across to the final chest. But that's done, and he's through.
And the meme chest checked by Freddeh yielding the meme arrow. Nice. We are now joined in the voice call by Dragonmaster0283, the victor today. Congrats, Dragonmaster, and tell us about your overall thoughts on that seed and how you handled it.
Seed felt really good, and it was when I found that bow in Thieves, then I was like, either we're gonna be even, or I'm gonna have a little bit of an advantage because of it, because it was in the big chest.
Yep. And you are very correct. You did end up having an advantage because of it. As sounds like you were chatting with Freddeh a little bit, but yeah, he dipped out of Thieves. That turned out to not be the right play. It's one of those things where he got back soon enough that it didn't seem like it ruined him, but it was enough that you were able to take a lead and not really let go.
Yeah, well, the reason I was telling him in the chat, the only reason why I cleared it because I only found one item in the front. If I would have found 2 or more items, I would have left.
Yeah, that did come up in our commentary too, because there's 4 items there. It's such a accessible location. It's pretty hard to just leave it behind, but at the same time, if it does have nothing back there and it's a pendant, you feel really bad. So either way, you feel bad about it. There's no good feelings involved with Thieves Town.
How about Kakariko being the one-stop shop to Aghanim?
So you kind of took a first kind of teaser visit towards Aghanim, like you were going in that direction, and you're like, hold on, maybe not. What was going on with that? Were you thinking about, let me just literally immediately go to Aghanim with 4 hearts?
Yeah, I considered it. I mean, since I know where the Pearl is, and I can get to the south side of Dark World afterwards, but then I looked, 4 hearts, fighter sword doesn't sound very promising or smart to do, so I waited till after checking South Shore to go up there.
Oh man.
No.
Trey just fell and then died.
And then revived. Oh.
Now he's gonna continue to fall? Yeah. Wait.
What?
Oh, he's back on! Oh my god.
What just happened?
What?
I don't even understand. Oh god.
Not even going to comment.
Alright, well, Freddeh is fine. He's just gonna continue the fight normally as though nothing at all happened.
I know what I'm gonna ask him about as soon as he gets in here.
Very nice double setup by Freddeh, and he'll put arrow number 3 in there, and he just needs to light the torch one more time. Slash the pig. Stick the pig. GG to Freddeh. He just needs to walk through the door, and he will finish up here today.
GG.
All right, there it is. Freddeh wraps up with an hour 33:37, the official SRTV time. GG to him. Obviously, a little bit of a slight delay in that time, thanks to the weird. I don't even know what that was on Ganon, but managing to finish up and a pretty good time for both runners on this seed. You can't really be too ashamed of a 133 here.
Hello.
Hi, we're joined by Freddeh. Freddeh, what the heck was that?
I don't know. All I know is I'm like, I don't know what just happened, but it was epic.
That is epic.
I mean, basically, I guess I got knocked back into the pit. Ganon happened to spawn right on top of me as I did it, and then that killed me, which then revived me, and then I got pushed back in front of Ganon, I guess? Question mark? You know, I honestly have no idea what was going to happen with that, because I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's right, I have a fairy. Shoot, I'm going to hit the fairy, then fall. Then it kind of spawned me in front. I'm like, huh? Whatever, I'm just going to roll with it. It wasn't on purpose. I get disqualified for that. I already lost the race anyway. Whatever.
Well, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't count in any world as a major glitch, but it sure is very weird.
It was sure a thing.
Oh my goodness. I know that you guys have been chatting a fair bit about this seed, but tell us your overall thoughts, and particularly the key play being that bow in Thieves Town. Tell us about your thinking with Thieves Town and how you routed it in.
Words that are not very appropriate for this stream. Mostly always finish pendant TT, especially when there's only one item up front. Especially when you don't have a mirror and your death warp involves burning a fairy in the process.
Yep.
That's pretty much all that came down to. I wasted a crap ton of time in there, and then that was where everything was anyway. Or at least the important bow.
Well, overall, the progression of the seed actually still worked out very well for you, and you did get back to Thieves Town before heading into Palace of Darkness and EP. Was there any consideration in your mind of going to those dungeons in the East before coming back to Thieves Town, or were you just like, no?
That was always my next play before I found another piece of progression, basically. That was going to be my next play before or after I did Hype Cave and such, and then I got the glows. I'm like, okay, I'll go with DM, so after DM, if nothing's up there, then I got the flippers. Like, okay, well, I'll go to the flippers. Oh, hey, there's the mitts. Okay, I'll go do mitt stuff, and I guess I'll go see if the random mirror behind Blacksmith game, because I felt kind of after that. And I'm like, oh, well, I'm here, I'll might as well do TT, and then I'll go over to Easter Palace. Oh, hey, it's the bow. Okay, I'm mirror. Well, I may as well do other stuff, and then just start clearing dungeons until I find, oh, hey, it's the mirror in EP. Okay, I'm in go mode now. It was literally always the very next thing I was going to do. I just always found something else driving me away. Which was fine, really. I didn't waste time doing, like, swamp or mirror spots. I just wasted time doing mitt spots instead, but...
Yeah, actually, so we'll bring it back to Dragonmaster, because you just mentioned wasting time doing swamp, and that was kind of one of the big time wastes that Dragonmaster ended up having to do was a non-go mode swamp palace because of not... you opted to go to swamp before checking the other flippers locations. What were you thinking about at that time? How'd you make that decision? And then, like, how did that, if at all, change how you felt about, like, whether you were ahead, behind, etc.?
I was still missing a couple of items, and I mean, Swamp's a crystal, and it needs to get done anyway, and I just didn't want to put it off to go mode, because I've been burned by that in the past with Swamp having the item, if I would have just done Swamp.
Makes sense. You definitely don't want to get burned by that. And actually, that did open up the door for Freddeh, but just not enough. As your routing in this seed, just you nailed it. Like every single thing that you needed to do, just you did, and it worked out perfectly. And mid ended up being your go mode item, and boy, that's a nice go mode item.
Mitts are definitely a nice go mode item.
Yes, it is. I hate routing Dark World without mirror too. It makes it so annoying.
Did either of you give any thought to early Eastern Palace all the way back, like before Aghanim potentially?
Not before Aghanim, since I knew where the Moon Pearl. What was the first thing I checked after I got the boots was just to see what's on Aghanim's ledge. If Aghanim's ledge didn't have anything, I might have done Eastern then. But when I saw the Moon Pearl, it's like I'm just gonna do Aghanim when I can because I can.
When I saw those items at Kakariko, I'm like, is this a friggin' moon pearl on lumberjack seed? It went straight there. Yes, it's a friggin' moon pearl on lumberjack seed.
That was my same thought when I said it's like, is Moon Pearl sitting up there?
I was thinking, I'm like, other things could be up there, but I bet this is moon pearl. Lo and frickin' behold. So did you skip lumberjack until boots as well?
I waited checking lumberjack till after I had the boots.
So we basically followed each other for the first however
Yep.
long of that seed.
Yep. Yeah, actually, it was really cool to watch. Like, you guys were just literally neck and neck. Slight difference in Aghanim's Tower that I really want to highlight that was really cool. Freddie checked the stun prize on the way to Sahasrahla, found out it was full magic, so that got him a full magic meter to go into Aga's Tower to use Fire Rod a lot, and also he was able to use that knowledge in there to get refills to keep using Fire Rod, and that actually ended up saving him a bunch of time. So there was a lead swap there with Freddie overtaking Dragonmaster, even though Freddie had gone to do Sahasrahla thanks to having that knowledge. But otherwise, like, yeah, you guys were just following the exact same path for that entire beginning, got into the Dark World, and finally the first divergence was Dragonmaster continued Thieves Town.
Yeah, that was my thought when I found the full magic refill on the stun prize. Like, I wish I would have known that sooner, because I would have made Aga Tower a lot faster.
Yeah, I almost forgot about it. Then I'm like, oh, I never checked the stun prize. I wonder if it happens to be magic or something. And Boomerang was already out because that was your default weapon at the time. So it's like, poink. Oh, hey, it's full magic. This will be a super nice Cannon's Tower now. Or Aga Tower, I mean.
I also wanted to point out we had a funny moment when you were both following each other over to Village of Outcasts, and then you both saw half magic on the Bumper Cave ledge. And it's like, oh yeah, that'd be nice. And then you both tried to get it without the glove.
Yeah.
We were talking about that after the race. They were like, I bet the commentators enjoyed that.
I did it
It got
again
us
in
too. I was
Thieves.
like, oh yeah, they're gonna go pick up half magic. And then as soon as you like touched the rock and then turned around, we were like, oh yeah.
And literally right before this race, I was like, oh, I haven't gotten half magic for a while. I wonder if I'll get half magic this seed for once. Second
You
friggin'
sit
seed in a
there.
row where it's been somewhere I've known where it was, and later in the game I could have gone and gotten it, but I always have like potions and hearts and red mail already, so it's like I don't really need it, so there's no point in wasting time to go get it.
It was a pretty, a little bit of a stingy seed at the beginning as far as survivability. And I'll ask this question to both of you. For Dragonmaster first, like, as far as playing with like low health, low safety, low armor, things like that, do you generally feel pretty comfortable with that, or would, you know, like, do you feel out of sorts, out of your element? Like, do you feel unconfident in those situations?
If I had to choose a weakness of mine, that is kind of one of my weaknesses, is low health, like Malthila, low health, or Aga Tower. That is one of my more Achilles heels. I'm always hoping to at least have like 6 hearts or blue mail, then I feel a little bit better. But if I don't get like a couple of safeties, or at least one safety, I'm a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, I thought of it after I went to Thieves Town. I'm like, I was thinking like, I don't know if I really want to do Mothula with these stats, and like, you know, I got Hammer and Blue Mail and spent only 6 hearts, and then I remembered I had a fairy and a red potion like as I was clearing Thieves Town or Village of Outcasts. I'm like, I could have done it, and then I probably forgot that I had a fairy when I was trying to.
I didn't even have blue mail at that time, so that's what made me more scared of going to Malthila.
Or maybe I didn't have Blue Mail. Maybe that's why. Did we get Blue Mail in Village of Outcasts?
I thought that was Sasha's hut, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I got Blue Mail out of Sasha's head. Okay.
No, that was Sasha's Hut only had bombers.
Oh.
They were blue.
What am I
Pretty sure
missing?
Blue Mail was mini molder.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
it
I
was.
did
Yeah, I
have
thought
blue
Blue
then.
Mail
Had
had
it
it
before
before.
Aga. Because like 5 hearts with Aga, that was scary, but it wasn't as bad with the blue mail.
Oh right, yeah, that's right. The blue mail there, and that's why I said, okay, Aga time now. I'm good.
Yeah, it was... I wanted to check Saha just in case like Hammer or something was over there, or not Hammer, like gloves.
I was trying to save Sasha to find the mirror so I can just like do Eastern and Pod all at once.
Or yeah, mirror.
And yeah,
Which-
no gloves is fun.
Yep. Been an interesting seed route if mirror if it was either of us went into EP first. I don't
Might
know
have
if that
been
would have
worse.
been slower or faster. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It might have led you astray a whole bunch.
You know, things
and sent
like-
you in weird directions.
Yeah, have you check Graveyard Ledge early without any gloves or anything. That takes a bunch of time.
takes you away from King's Tomb as well, which ended up having the book, and that was actually how Dragon Master got the book, was going there right before Catfish and Zora, mirroring into King's Tomb, and then finding the commit afterwards. That worked out very, very well for him.
Yeah, I had that whole north line to do, so I was gonna cut over down to the south side and catch up Hobo and see what was on the island.
Hobo had a green rupee.
Oh joy!
It was fantastic.
I would have liked to have known what Zora had.
I believe that was a red rupee.
Yeah, it wasn't any better, really.
He can enjoy the bomb I gave him then.
I actually almost saving quit after Zora, thinking I already had the mitts because I had marked it off on my tracker. I'm like, wait a second, I need to go pick it up.
There was that moment where we were both like, "No, Freddie, don't do that. Just keep going. Get the item name." Oh man. Well, that was a really enjoyable race to watch. Both of you guys did a really great job. Final question as we'll wrap up. We'll start with Dragon Master going up 1-0. You only need to win one more race against Freddie to move on. Is there anything that you learned from this match or previous matches that you are incorporating going forward?
I need to practice my low health stuff because I know one of those seeds is coming.
Freddie, of course, being down to 0-1. Same kind of question. You were in this position in your preceding match against Sea Falcon. Do you plan to change anything up? Do you plan to, approach it any differently in your next race?
Play better. That's always finish TT, probably. I don't know. Depends on the seed. It always depends on the seeds. Can't really say anything for sure.
Find another way to glitch Ganon.
Find a new way to glitch Ganon. I'll wait till you finish, then I'll glitch Ganon out again.
I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think that weird glitchy thing you did cost you time rather than saving it. just maybe.
No, because I would have fallen and I had to go back and done the whole thing again, or died and I still have to do the whole thing again.
Well, then don't get hit in the first place.
Well, I mean, yes, but he was already finished, so. I figured I'd put on a nice glitch showcase totally on purpose. Yep, totally.
Well, nicely done. You earn all the swag points.
Yep. Sure. It's my second weird butt glitch.
That's true. You had the weird railing clip with the bomb. Yeah, that was hilarious. All right. Well, that was super fun to watch. So thank you both for performing tonight, and congrats again on the victory, Dragon Master, and good luck to the rest of you, both of you, on the rest of your games.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's gonna do it for us. Sigma, it has been a pleasure joining you. Got any final thoughts here?
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, Vula. I just wanted to throw a shout out to our tracker Oski for keeping us honest in terms of what items our runners had, because man, we need the help. We need all the help we can get. And if you want to watch more rando, well, there is a lot more rando. It looks like Korak versus Lane is on Speed Gaming 4 right now. And there's, I think coming up in about half an hour, there's going to be another match, TGH against Cell Shaft, here on Speed Gaming 5. So lots more rando tonight. Make sure to watch it. It's always going to be a fun time.
That's for sure. We've got the round of 64 just getting underway, and the round of 128 wrapping up with some of the last couple matches needing to be finished up by tomorrow. So gonna be some good stuff to watch, but for now, that's gonna do it for us. Thank you again, Sigma. Thanks to Dragon Master and Freddie, and make sure to follow all those Speed Gaming channels, because God help us, there's so much rando, as well as the ALTTPR Randomizer channels as well. But for now, have a good night, everyone.